Yeah, I need this recording.
Yep. Okay. Tonight, welcome to another Millionaire Barber Mastermind. Now, he needs no introduction. He's been nominated for 2 𝗠𝗏𝗃𝗁 Awards. If there's any barber out there that's a perfectionist, his work is flawless. If you look at his haircuts, I always look at his haircuts and I try to find something wrong with them. Whether it's a crooked edge up, something not blended, I always try to find something wrong. I can never find anything wrong with his haircuts. Fading to the beard, everything is perfect. He's like Vincent Van Gogh with those clippers, Pablo Picasso. If y'all look at his work, he has an A-type personality. Everything is perfect. He is a perfectionist, and you're going to see that. I want you to introduce yourself. I want you to tell them how it all started.
Well, I'm Nieves also known as How to Fade Hair. And I guess the whole How to Fade Hair brand, I kind of started that 10 years ago. I went to Cosmo school first, and then I went into barbering later on. But that was just kind of, back when I did Cosmo school, there wasn't really much information on the internet out there. And, that could kind of go back to even your blueprint was on disc. It was on, DVD, right?
Yeah, it was CD-ROM.
So if you think back to those days, when I was out searching for a beauty school to attend, I wasn't even necessarily looking for a beauty school. I was just looking for somewhere where they could teach me how to use scissors. That's basically, I thought I had clippers for a month. I thought I was the best barber on the planet, So I started seeking out education, and I called a few places, and I was drawn to one that was in my area, only because they said they had financial aid. And I called other schools, and the tuition was just too high for me. So I actually went and signed up, but when I went and signed up, the school was closed. It wasn't open that day, but the office people were there. I went in, I signed up, and I found this school because I opened the yellow book. It wasn't like I Googled anything at that time. So I started, and anything I know about hair school was just watching a movie or something called Beauty School or something like that. So I didn't really know that there was a license involved to cut hair or anything of that nature. But I signed up with $100 down, and I didn't know I was signing up into a program or anything. I just thought I was going to walk through that door. They were going to teach me how to use scissors. They had to tell me they were called shears later. And that's kind of what brought me into the business. But I signed up and I was in there. So I figured, hey, I'm going to come in, I'm going to learn and do what I got to do. Actually, before I finished school, I had already opened a barbershop. And the owner of the school seen I was ambitious, so he did offer me to come in and do the instructor program in cosmetology. My main concern was, what was I going to pay? And he said, well, your Pell Grant's about to, I don't know how they refer to it as, but recharge, or you got enough funds in there where you can attend school as a student teacher, and it's not going to cost you nothing. So I ended up paying for Cosmo and Cosmo instructor school $300 out of pocket. And like I said, I opened the barber school. So barbershop, my fault.
At that time.
Yeah, at that time. So I opened this barbershop up, and I went and got a tattoo with a barber pole, and I'm out there as a barber, and I actually hire a barber, and his license actually said licensed barber on it. And he said, hey, did you know with your license, you're not supposed to use the straight razor? And I said, no, no one ever told me nothing about that, you know? So here I have barber tattoos. I own a barber shop, but I'm not officially a barber. So that motivated me to go back to barber school. And then I attended the barber instructor course as well afterward. So I did 4,500 hours in Illinois. And that kind of, you know, kicked off my journey. But while I was in Cosmo school at the time, we attended a hair show. And, you know, what I would do was I would take my buddies from the barbershop and, you know, the barbers who worked for me, and I'd put designs in their hair and I'd cut their hair, and we'd go walk around the show, and we would get a lot of attention. A lot of people would come up to us and they'd ask, how did we do it? You know? So that kind of, you know, inspired me and clicked in my head, well, hey, there's something here for this. So that kind of drew me into making an instructional video on how to do a fade and things like that. And the name of the brand that I came up with was just, I was cutting up a local DJ. He played on the radio station out here. And he was in my chair one day, and, you know, he was real good at marketing and, you know, promoting himself. So I told him, I'm gonna shoot a DVD, you know, I'm gonna shoot a you know, a step-by-step. And he said, oh, you're doing a how-to? And boom, right there, I said, how to, yep. So I said, how to fade hair. And that's how I kind of came up with the name at that time. So, you know, what I would do would, I would go to these trade shows or to these conventions, and I'd rent out a small booth in the back, and I'd sell my videos out of there. And I sold a lot of DVDs at that time because, one, I was the only one really doing instructional videos with clipper work in that cosmetology realm of these hair shows. And two, I did it in Spanish. At the time, there was no one that did it in Spanish. So I did it in both languages, and created a YouTube channel. At this time, there was no people on YouTube. Now you could go see a whole tutorial on YouTube. And at the time when I was on there, there was no one on there, especially saying anything about Spanish. So that drew a lot of traffic into my YouTube channel. I mean, my views on my channel right now is like at 7 million. And all I was doing was putting up 2-minute trailers of my DVD. And, you know, 10 years down the road, I've run into people and they tell me, like, you know how many times I rewinded 10 seconds of your video, and I learned how to do something off of that. So I said, well, why you didn't buy the whole thing? But you know, in this day and age now, even DVDs are kind of something of the past. But I do feel like there's a lot of interest. I just sold like 3 of them last week. And the thing about it is, my DVDs are on sale right now for $1. You go to my website right now and you can get them for $1. All you gotta do is pay shipping and handling. So you know, just a little bit of that. Down the road, I like telling this story because I was at the convention in Chicago, and the actual owner of Wall Clipper, one of the owners from the Wall family, he walked by my booth. I didn't know who he was. All I wanted to do was sell him a DVD. So I tried to sell him a DVD, and he stuck around. You know, he looked interested, but he said, no, thank you. And he left. And then maybe like 10 minutes later, he sent one of the artists from the education team from Wall to my booth with wall clippers. So they wanted me to use my tools in my little booth in the back. So that was kind of like one of my introductions to the actual wall family. And down the road, uh, that was something I wanted to pursue. And, you know, to me, I always tell everyone always asks the question, because I do education for wall as well now to this day. And I'm always asked why, or how did I get on to the wall team? And, you know, my response is that, you know, people knock on doors and people ask other educators, but, you know, by me creating my DVD and the education, I wasn't knocking on the door. I was literally kicking it down, and I was gaining the interest by doing that. So networking at these events and at these conventions also got my name put into the mix. And when Wall was looking for an educator that was bilingual, my name got brought up because of the networking I did, and because I brought awareness to myself. I mean, I had educators from other clipper brands, you know, buying my DVD when I was in the back of the shows. So, you know, with that being said, you know, that drew me into really pursuing education and, you know, things like that. I could see your comment here. What's the website? My website, and you can find me at any handle, is 𝗤𝗏𝗁𝗂𝗏hair.com. That you'll find me there. I got everything linked there, everything across the board, YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, anything. It's all 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗂𝗏hair. And you know, even as we were in quarantine, Chin, I did get one of your programs, you know, for online
How to create an online
work.
course.
Yeah, so I revamped my whole online presence through that, and I have, I think I have more than 10 actual curriculums or actual courses on my online academy right now. And the thing about my online academy, if you're in particular states, like right now I have Iowa, Illinois, and Nebraska. If you view my courses, not only for the education, but you can also get continued education hours online through the course that I created. So I revamped my course during quarantine, and that's at the time I got it from you. So a lot of that I applied into my online academy.
How much was that course? Was I
I think it
selling?
was I think it was like $100 or maybe $80. I don't remember, but it was well worth it.
I took
Um,
that course. It was $5,000 back in the day when I learned how to do that.
so even at the time that that I did that course from you, I think we went live one day, and it was during quarantine, and I told you there's there's information in there, and there's like information that I had to just learn on my own, and one piece of information in there was well worth $100. Like, you know, it was, I would have paid that just for that one piece of information.
Yeah, that course, man, I've taken that course and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that investment, when I learned it, was a lot. Now, so you graduate from school, you open your shop,
Yeah.
then you become a wall educator, you traveling all over the world, become one of the best barbers out there, keep going. And now they don't know that you open your school, you just open your school, but we're gonna get to that.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm doing a lot of education for Wall. I'm working with various distributors for them. Um, and, you know, sometimes things change, and, you know, new people come around, and, you know, it just so happened that, you know, someone new came around into Wall. We got a new national director of education, and you know, I was actually asked to help out on some curriculum development. And you know, I don't think at that point Wall understood that I was capable of that. You know, I was doing classes, but I wasn't developing courses or anything like that at the time. And you know, when quarantine hit, um, like all that kind of came to light where, oh, you make videos, you do step by steps. I mean, at this point I had already invested in my camera equipment. I was already running an online academy. And this is something that, you know, even like these bigger corporations need. um, and also, you know, I'm a continued education provider. So, you know, that was even something that was even more of a interest, you know, from Wall. So during the past year, I've been developing curriculum for Wall, and we actually changed Wall's whole curriculum now and what they're teaching out there to the masses and with their tools. And even through that, I was able to hook up with other companies that Wall work with, and we develop curriculum for them as well. Um, so, you know, with that even being said, um, promotion came out of that as well. I'm now the lead educator for Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that position never existed in the past, you know, so I'm the first to carry that title. And, you know, I always tell everyone it's preparation, and, you know, it's been in the works for a long time. And, you know, I'm proud to be where I'm at, obviously, with that as well. And you know, at some point, I owned my barber shop in 2005 is when I opened that up. And, you know, being into it about 2 years, I knew right away, like, you know, this is how it is. I knew, like, so when I started getting into education and seeing certain things, I knew that I wanted to pursue that, and you know, lead myself in a way where um, you know, I could do something bigger. And I think it's all a learning curve, and everything comes at its moment. Um, because, you know, financially, uh, I didn't have the knowledge either. Um, I was 23 years old when I opened my barbershop, and I didn't know anything about business. I took a couple of business courses in college after I got my GED. And you know, I didn't know too much. I just kind of dove right in, and I learned as I went along. And you know, that was kind of like something I had to like figure out down the road. How was I gonna save money and do things like that? We were on a live earlier today, me and you, and you know, I remember kind of going back to that. We talked on a live one time. I was in the back of my barber shop, and this was maybe over a year ago. Could have been even almost 2 years now. And you had asked me what's stopping you from opening up a school. And my whole thing was funding, you know. I I didn't know how to get a loan from a bank, or let alone even was even thinking about doing that. I was just thinking, hey, I must just stack up, save all my money, and go from there, you know? So that's exactly what I ended up doing. And, you know, down the road too, I've been chiming in on all your Zooms and your Instagrams and things like that along the way. And I've seen other people that own schools talk. And, you know, one of the big things I was trying to do was buy a building and put my school in that building. And, um, you know, the funding for that, I didn't have it. But what I do have is I own a house and I don't owe much on it. So I have a lot of equity in here. So I was gonna literally sell my house, buy a building that I could live upstairs from, and go ahead and run the school out of there. So the problem is that I have a big family. There's 6 of us in here in my house now. We couldn't find a place we could fit into. So that was kind of putting a stops on my plan there. And that's another thing, you know, with when you're a barber, you have to actually show that you're making a certain amount of money so you can qualify for these loans out there, you know? So that was a little bit of what I was trying to do, just to try to qualify for something out on the loan that was big enough for me and my family. And I really couldn't find anything out there. And I was chiming in on one of your lives one day, one of your mastermind classes, and you were speaking to I think the gentleman from Network's Barber College, and he was talking about someone asked him, what do you think about buying the building versus renting or leasing out some space? And his response to that was, you know, if you can buy the building, that's great, but you also don't want to wait around too long, because you'll be sitting around, and by then all these other people will probably be implementing their business strategy, and they might even open up where you're at or in your area. So you don't want to wait too long. And you know, there was some opportunities around that were arising from me. People's leases were ending, and the location next door to me, their lease was up, and you know, COVID hit, and they weren't prepared for it. They weren't saving. They couldn't, you know, pay their overhead. So you know, at some point, their lease wasn't going to get renewed. I knew it. The owner told me about it, and that was perfect opportunity for me to expand out into that location.
So when did you first start watching me or hear about me?
I want to say I started watching you when you started doing your lives on Instagram. So it's been a couple of years now that I've been kind of watching.
And what was you thinking?
Well, you know, everyone's always a little skeptical. You know, especially a program like yours. It's not like you're asking for a couple $100. You know what I'm saying? It's more, you know, it's more up there. But I won't forget, you know, and I don't want to bring this into go too deep into this, but one day you were talking and you were like, look y'all, you know, most of the people that are spending this money with me are Caucasian. I tell my people to get out here and to put their money out here and make this investment. And you know, with the Caucasian people, I don't have to tell them twice. They're already making the investment. And you know, I'm watching this and I'm like, why ain't I acting on this? You know, like you know, it just was kind of something like you're telling everyone straight out. And if they ain't hearing and they're not listening, it's almost like, well, you know, that's on them. But when you're already in the process of doing something, and I was digging deep already at this point into opening up a school, and even for me to kind of jump into the online academy and all that as well, because I kind of got all of these courses around the same time. But when I was watching you, you were answering a lot of the questions, and you were kind of putting out little bits of information during the time that I was already digging deep into this. So the information you were putting out there on social media, it was resonating with me. So I knew that making in the investment, it was a gamble, but you got to take that leap sometimes, you know? I mean, I ain't never got nowhere without taking that leap. And you know, once you start to understand business and how it works, and you're putting in that work, you already know. It's like, start making that leap. And you know, I read a lot of books, and you know, I'm gonna just bring up Richest Man in Babylon. I'm pretty sure you know the book, right, Chin?
Yeah.
So in the book, there's something in there that says, you know, it's about a guy who saved up all his money for a year, and he's ready to make an investment. And one of his buddies tells him, hey, you know, I'm gonna go down to the next town over and invest in jewels. He don't know nothing about jewels. He's a masonry guy, you know, his buddy. He goes out there, and his buddy goes out there and he gets swindled for all his savings. You know, he comes back with nothing. So the guy that was saving invested with his friend, and they go out there and come back. He comes back with nothing at the end. And the book is just trying to tell you, when you invest your money with people who are knowledgeable of what you know. I think they sold him some fake stones, you know. He didn't know any better though, because he doesn't specialize in that, you know. So if there's someone out there kind of telling you, hey, I got a blueprint, you know, hey, I got a how to fade hair how-to DVD, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it wasn't that far-fetched, you know. And you know, even the past, like my older brother got into real estate, and he owned a lot of property at some point, but he learned a lot of it from a course like yours on a DVD-ROM or CD-ROM.
This is the thing what you talking about. This is it.
Yeah. See, and you know, so I mean, just having all that in mind, and kind of seeing what you were putting out there on social media, that kind of drew me in to pursue. And then, you know, I did sit around a lot, and there were moments when you did put some of your stuff and your information or your courses at a discounted price. You know, so when I came in, I felt like I was getting a discount, you know. So it just made me act faster on it. And you know, like I said, I'm glad I did. At the beginning, when I first opened it up, and you know, there's lists in there that kind of, you know, gives you information on a lot of stuff, and you know, things that I was learning and thinking about by trial and error. It was just right in front of me. And I even remember telling my wife, like, hey, you know, all this stuff I had to learn on my own, it's like right here in front of me. So
now, how did you feel when you first opened it up? When you got in that back office and saw everything? I mean,
yeah, when you kind of start fishing around on here, you know, obviously it's a new website. Everything is new to me, at least, but everything is kind of it's kind of like in there. You just got to get used to like reading it and seeing how the website actually works. But I mean, I'm looking in here right now. I got my laptop in front of me. But I mean, first thing you open up, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just click next, and you go to the next page and the next page. There's a lot of videos in here of people. You're walking them through a lot of stuff. I kind of sat there and watched most of those videos too. it's almost like, you know, there's a lot of information in here, but you feel like it's like a book. You read a book and you may only take a few bits and pieces out of it. So you don't want to miss anything. So I literally went through like the whole thing in here, and you just keep clicking next, and it takes you to the next thing and the next thing.
Now, when I got in it, we had these. It was probably about 10 of these 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Y'all got it easy with clicking and downloading. So when you were on this journey to open this school, you got open. Tell us about that, about getting it ready. Take us on that journey from signing the lease to just doing everything.
Well, I mean, like I said, I do a lot of work with walls, so I travel a lot. So my lease, the owner of the property I'm at, he lives in Florida. At the time, I was in like South Dakota working on the lease in between a class I was doing. So, you know, one thing about what you have set up is you also have like a checklist in here for things to look out for when you're leasing. So I think that's like super valuable information, especially to somebody who is gonna lease a spot. So I did go through that checklist because everything is in my head already. I've been leasing places since 05. I've had multiple barbershops that I've opened, and multiple places that I have fixed up and had to negotiate. But even down to like negotiating some rent off of the place, you have that in your program. So if you kind of just go through the program, what you have listed, it's like you won't forget anything. You know, I feel like it's in my head, so I'm just kind of like going through it. But going and reverting back to what you have is a great thing as well. So I signed a lease, you know, and even when you're doing a lease, you negotiate. I mean, if you're doing flooring or anything like that, most cases, I mean, I've leased places where I can negotiate that, you know, and the owner will pay half, or let's say the heating and cooling unit isn't that great. I've had the owner replace the whole thing for me before, you know. But as far as where I'm at now, it was an expansion into the location next door. So I kind of had an idea of who I was working with and how I wanted to kind of move forward with it. So I negotiated a lease. I was fortunate enough to get some time free rent. And once I had that done, I got the keys, and the next day I was in there. I already had all my mirrors set up, my station set up. I was already anticipating it because you can't waste any time at all when you're doing a build out, because you'll end up having to start paying and you ain't ready to pay. So I remember the building that I'm in has a maintenance man, and he walked past, and at the time I think we got a break in the weather out here in Chicago, but it was nice enough where I had the door open, and he said, "Wow, you're wasting no time." I said, "No, I can't." So we started getting that all done, and initially, you know, I've been doing build outs for a while, and I always hear you say on your masterminds and stuff, don't you don't have to make this immaculate place. Barbershops, they make things look really nice. you know, when I started my school, I went to the Goodwill, and you know, all of that came into mind. See, I go to IKEA, you know, they got great deals, great prices on stuff, and you know, um, for certain things I go there. But with that being said, that's in my mind. Like, you know, it's a school. You don't have to go all out. You know, later on when I start making some real money, I can go in there and fix the place up better than what it looks like.
It looks good, man. Your school, I'm gonna show them in a little while too. Man, your school looks so good.
So even that being said, so we put the stations up, and you know, I look at the floor. We had, at this point, we painted, and I look at the floor, and the floor just kind of looks rough, you know, and I'm like, man, you know, should we leave it like that or should we not? Should I just throw like a coat of paint over this cement that looks bogus, or what should I do, you know? And you know, if you save up and you know you're good with, you got your funds, I mean, you could start making some of these investments. But at the same time, I wanted to redo the bathrooms. So just keeping all that in mind. And, you know, like I said, there's a maintenance guy around the building, and, you know, I had him for me, which, you know, it, it was an investment, but the outcome, I mean, everyone compliments the floor that I put in there, you know, from even today, I had my final inspection from the state. The state inspectors were complimenting that floor, and most of them asked me who did it and if I have their information, you know. So yeah, one of my clients, he did the flooring for me, and he said, I'm gonna give you a discount. Normally I charge $6 to $7 a square foot. I'm gonna give it to you for, he gave it to me for about 350, $4. um but he said he was doing it because he knew that I get a lot of traffic, and he knew he was going to get some return on that, you know.
Mm.
So you know, you just start to find people like that, and you know, get resourceful with that, and you know, you can get some good results off of that. So you know, the build out took some time, but I mean, i just think I just think everything works out, and when you have a plan, it's amazing, you know, because even before I started to build out, even before I signed the lease, I signed the lease in November 1st. So we were working on the lease in October. And even before October, I was already looking into it. And somebody says, when you're aligned, God sends people. And that's just where I'm going with this. Because the person who runs my town business license department, um, he came in my shop 4 years ago, and he left his business card. He came and got a shave, and I kept his business card. And a year before I knew I was going to start putting the pedals in motion, I called him and I said, hey, I want to have a sit down with you. And I just want to have a meeting, and I want to tell you what I want to do. And we sat there, and I talked to him, and I said, I want to bring a barber school to this town. This town has never had a barber school. And, you know, I want you to see who I am and know who I am and know that I mean business, you know. And, you know, um, the guy is a religious guy as well. So he's the chaplain for the town, and he's also a pastor at his church. So so I reach out to him, you know, plant the seed. A year later, I'm ready to, you know, start pursuing this. So I end up going down to the town and applying for this location that I want to expand into, and I get denied. All right. I get denied because of a parking variance. there's not enough parking for you to put this here. And when that happens in this town, you have to go in front of the board in the town, and you have to put together a booklet and a pamphlet, and they want to see your business plan. So Chin, your business plan was in there, but your business plan is super long. So it's super long, super thorough. So I broke it down, and I actually hired the lawyer that's in the building next door to me. And the owners of the property that I'm in and that lawyer that owns the building next door, they actually work together and combine their parking lots. And you have to take pictures of your parking lot and show all this stuff and everything, right? So I go down to my town because I'm going to pick up the paperwork for this now, so I can fight this parking variance. And as I'm walking down the stairs, I bump into the gentleman that runs the license department. And I start telling him about it, what the situation is. And he says, he gives me some advice. I leave. And then at this point, the owner of the building says, the lady who's renting next door, she's hoarding, and I'm gonna have to get her out, but the COVID's going on and the court ain't open and this and that, So that kind of was discouraging me in a way. But then I came up with the plan of, well, I'll just do it in the location I'm at, and I'll add a restroom into my location, because that was one of the big things that was putting a stop to what I was doing. In my state, you need 2 restrooms. And it works like that in most states when you're trying to do something like this. So I'm trying to build a restroom in the location I'm in now. And I'm bringing in various contractors because I got to do this by the book, and I did request another meeting with this business license department guy. And I'm talking to him about it. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do it, by the book, get these permits, get everything legit. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead and look into it and see what you can do. So I end up in the town one day, and this same exact day, I'm about to pull the trigger and hire this contractor. They were going to charge me like 10 grand to put this bathroom in for me, and I'm like, man, this is a big investment, so I get down to the town to pay my water bill, of all things, just randomly. I'm in the town, and I said, I'm gonna go up to the business license, the building department, and I'm gonna ask them what I need for these permits and everything, just to make sure that the contractors ain't overcharging me for these permits. So I get in there, and they're telling me that well, in the town now, we're swapping out all the lead pipes to copper pipes from the main to the meter. And I'm like, well, what's that look like? The job was probably like another 20 grand on top of building the bathroom. So I'm like, man, this is insane. I can't drop 30 grand on a building that ain't mine. I'd rather, stack up some more and go find a building. So one day I'm like, well, I got to talk to this guy from this business license department. And at this point, the owner of the building, COVID let up and court kind of was, open, and he ends up being able to get the lady to vacate the premises that was next door to me. So I'm like, well, next door is open. The only thing I know I got to go through is this parking variance. And then at this point, I was able to get my location from my barbershop approved to become a school without doing the parking variance in my location. So next door wasn't approved. And I'm like, but I need to expand because I need that other bathroom. And if I expand over, I don't have to change out the copper pipes. So I'm literally cutting the pastor from my church's hair in the morning. And I told the pastors, they know each other because they're in the same town. And I tell the pastor from my church, I say, man, I need to talk to this guy and I need to ask him if he can help me out next door with this parking situation. And I put my hands up in the air. This is on a Saturday morning. And I said, I'm gonna throw these vibes out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. And I hope this guy walks through the front door today. And he literally walked in the door 5 minutes later. And he asked me for a shave. I had him in my chair. I bumped back a client of mine. I put him in my chair for a half hour, told him what I wanted to do. He said, come see me Monday. I went to see him Monday and he passed the whole thing without even the parking variance, the parking situation. And that's God right there, you know? So that kind of got me into the space, and you know, then we started doing the work and everything in there. And you know, write down your goals, speak it all into existence. And you know, when you feel it, you feel it. I felt it so hard that day that I threw it out there, and he walked through the door 5 minutes later. So, you know, kind of going up to everything and leading up to everything and doing the build out. The build out, we were able to knock that out in like a month. So we did all November, December, kind of mid-December. Everything kind of lined up with that because I had 3 different people working in there at some point, and it just so happened to be the guy who could work on the floor was available the week that this guy was finishing up something that would have been in the way for him. So everything kind of lined out perfect, and I had my application in before Christmas to the state. So a little bit of back and forth with the state, and you know, now they reached out to me, and you know, actually last week is when they called me to tell me they were going to do the final inspection of the place. So you know, on what was it, Sunday, I literally was out of state doing work for Wall, came back Tuesday doing work with Wall. Wednesday I meet with Wall's engineers at the school. We're talking about Wall projects. And then today I'm doing the inspection for the school. So, you know, the inspector said, hey, you know, I've done 16 of these school inspections. And this is by far the most organized and cleanest place that we've done. So, you know, that made me feel good as far as preparation goes, you know. And in the back of my head, I'm like, man, that little piece of dust over there in the corner, I gotta get that out of there, you know. But, you know, we were ready for it. And, you know, now I'm ready for the future. I'm ready to start to get these students enrolled. And I think that's kind of what is bringing us in to what we're going to talk about tonight.
All right, yeah, we're going to talk about when you open your school and that first student walks in there, what should you do? What paperwork should you give them? What should they sign? What should they not sign? What do you have to have in that folder? What should be in that folder? When NACAS comes in, what are they going to look for in the folder? So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to take y'all through this journey.
So, you know, like we were speaking earlier on my live, and you know, I was telling you, me and my wife actually sat down, and you know, we were kind of trying to play a role of, okay, someone comes in, let's see how it goes, let's see what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna enroll somebody, you know. So all of this stuff is like super important. I mean, I've never enrolled anyone into a school, you know.
Well, I've enrolled thousands, so for 23 years, so I'm going to show you exactly what to do.
Awesome.
All right. All right. So if somebody first walks in your school, they're going to get the application. And y'all have a copy of this in your back office. All you're going to do, where it's got school name, put your name right there. That's simple. Now, $100 application fee. The most you can charge a student for application fee is $150. That's NACA's guidelines. All right. And it's non-refundable. So if they don't start, you just got a free $100 or a free $150 if a student don't start, because that's non-refundable. This application right here is basic. Name, address, city, phone number, date of birth, social security number, ID number, emergency person to contact. Do you have a diploma or GED? You got any experience? Do you have any license, whether Cosmo or whatever? How did you hear about the school? You want to know that because you want to know if your marketing, whatever you're putting out there, is working. So this is the first one, application. Now, most school owners are going to be doing a payment plan. So you want to ask the potential student, how much can you put down? Basically, how much can you invest in your future? Some of them are going to tell you $1,000, $2,000, $500, $300. If you all put a set price, we need $500 down or $1,000 down. What if that student comes in there that has $200 down and they can make monthly payments, and they're a great Christian student, hardworking, or that single parent mom or whatever? So you all gonna have to let God kind of lead you all on some of this too, because y'all gonna have some good students that might not have any money to put down, but God may tell you, help this person. They're working hard. They may keep your school clean. They may be your best student ever. So be very cautious of just saying, oh, I need this much down. If not, you can't start. No, because you may have 20 students in there, some paying this much down, this much a month. It doesn't matter because all of them going to charge the same price.
Can you still hear me, Chin?
I can hear you.
Okay. So just to kind of go off of that, as far as what they could put down, that doesn't have anything to do with like their kit, correct?
Correct. Because you don't have to give them that kit. You can let them know, hey, now this kit is going to be X amount of dollars. So they're still in the tuition. Now you can have some kits that you have back in the closet where they can kind of be like a library card. They give you their ID and you give them a kit for the day, and they go out there on the clinic floor and they do work. That's how I did when I first opened my school, because a lot of my students couldn't afford a kit. So I had about 3 or 4 kits back there that I had put together. So the student would come in, give me their ID, I'd give them the kit, they'd go out there on the clinic floor and they would do services all day long. They might do, a couple of $100 in services, bring me the kit back, I check it out, everything's good, give them their ID. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that idea.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next. Now, when they get ready to start, we're gonna have orientation. But before orientation, in orientation, what you're gonna do, when they first come in at initial time, you're gonna tell them what they need. They're gonna need their ID, a diploma or GED or a high school transcript. That's what you're gonna need. I picture ID or diploma or GED or transcript from high school. Also, if they went to another school and they got transfer hours, tell them you need that transfer certification sheet. You're probably not going to have a lot of those. So the student walks in, you want to make sure you got like a little copy machine. to get a copy of their ID. Hey, we're gonna need your GED, your diploma, if you have that. So now, when you have orientation has to be before they actually start school. It can be that morning before they actually start, or it could be that Monday before they start. It could be the same day they start, but just before they actually start. Now, this is what you're gonna need. They're gonna fill out that form just like I told you all. They probably already filled out the application form. Now, you'll set the time and date for orientation. Make sure you got the ID, diploma, GED, all of that. Now, if they put money down, keep your little ledger card. A little ledger card in each file. Tuition was $5,000. They put $500 down. Balance $4,500. Keep that ledger card in their file or in some type of file where you can easily get to it.
Is there like a mock-up of a ledger card in the program in the back office?
I can give you a ledger card. A lot of people use QuickBooks, but if you just need a paper ledger card, I can give you one, a paper ledger card. But a lot of times they got software systems, QuickBooks and all that. But if y'all want to do stuff on paper, that's fine. But they got some real easy software systems out there now that are real economical and everything. Now, the student's gonna have to fill out this enrollment agreement. This enrollment agreement is NACA's compliant, meaning it's compliant with NACA's, the Accrediting Commission, and the federal government. So don't go out there and just make up some enrollment agreement. Everything is already done for you on the enrollment agreement. I mean, look, school name, address, city, state, zip. You can't go wrong with this. Put your school name right here in red, whatever course it is, the hours, the weeks, the enrollment fee. All this has to be broken down. The tuition, books, supplies. The total tuition is books, supplies, tuition, enrollment fee added together. Now, scrolling down, all this has to be on here. Then put your school name right here. Application fee, if it's gonna be $100, $150, books and kit, they're getting that, the tuition, and put all it in. Now, I gotta share something with you all. And then the date they start, contract begins, contract ends. Whether they're doing full-time or part-time. Don't leave any of these blank. Put NA or draw a line if it doesn't pertain to you. Remember that, because NACA's wants that.
So Chin, let me ask you, the pricing and the tuition up there. So if you, let's say tuition's 10 grand and you want to offer it for less, or you want to give them like a discounted price, or something, you're running a deal or something, what would you do as far as alteration on that form right there?
You'd have a separate document, whether you're giving them some kind of discount or whatever, as long as it's documented and you put it in that file. Now, right here, you see this where it's got less deposit, miscellaneous, total tuition and fees. Over here, you can put that, whether it's a scholarship or discount, you can put that in there. Now, students gonna sign here where it's got guardian, sponsor. If they're under 18, yeah, they need a guardian or sponsor, but y'all not gonna have a lot of people to do that. So y'all can put NA right here, NA right there, keep going, school name. So this is the enrollment agreement. And make sure the student initials this. And I know this enrollment agreement is long, but everything belongs on here. So y'all don't go deleting none of this stuff out.
I actually had to add on to it per my state guidelines.
For Chicago.
Yeah, for Illinois.
Right.
Yeah,
and California, they have one where we have to add on a lot too. But this is NACA's compliant right here. Student sign, school official, where it's got guardian signature. If that doesn't apply, put NA, but make sure y'all put the date. So now we got the enrollment agreement. Now, the next thing, you're gonna put school name. This is a student orientation checklist. Student name, program, whether it's Barber, Cosmo, whatever, put the date. They gotta have orientation before they start. The date can be the same day that they start, but as long as they have orientation beforehand. Now the student is gonna check these. I have received information concerning the following topics during my orientation. Because by law and NACAs, they have to receive all this information. All this information right here is in the catalog. So they're just gonna check all of these, sign it, date it. You're gonna put that in the student's file. That way, if a student say, well, they didn't tell me this, well, I didn't know this or this or that. Nope, they done already checked all of this, saying that they did. The next form, sample kit list. If you got a kit, now, put the kit right here. This kit list, whatever y'all gonna have in the kit, put that in here, check it, whatever, student signs. All right, the next sheet is a sample pre-enrollment receipt of information. This is just saying that me, the student, I did get this information from the school. Student name, program, date. I received written information concerning these following topics prior to signing my enrollment agreement. So they got to know all this stuff before they sign that enrollment agreement. They got a school catalog. And of course, we'll put the school catalog in a PDF in a digital format so you all don't have to continue to make copies. They can just go on their phone because we're in a digital world now. So they'll check all of these, sign and date. All of these documents are in your back office. But Alvarez, if you need these, I can just email them to you tonight, although they're in the back office. Now the next.
Yeah, I have all of this.
Okay, all right. Now this counseling form, that doesn't need to be in the student's file. Some students may need counseling, some not, but I just want to let y'all know that. We'll keep going. Withdrawal record. If a student does not complete the course and they withdraw, whether you owe them money or they owe you money, you must fill out this refund calculation. And I have a video in the back office showing you all how to fill that out. For you all in the program, if a student withdraws and you need help, the gold members, you all know already to call, email, or text.
And is this is all NACAs compliant then?
All NACAs compliant. We want all of y'all to be NACAs compliant because the goal is to get you accredited in record time so you're in position to get the financial aid, the Pell grants, that up to $10,000 for a Pell grant. Now, next thing, satisfactory academic progress report. This is basically a report card. If it's a 1,500-hour course, when they hit 450 actual hours, you're gonna fill this out. The SMART system prints these out automatically. But a lot of new school owners, you may not be ready to invest in the SMART system. It might be like $1,000, $2,000 down, $300 or $400 a month. It's worth the investment, but if for some reason you can't, because I couldn't when I first started, you can do it by hand.
Not only is it it's pricey, but as you're kind of going through this, it's all overwhelming. So it almost feels like, oh, that's one more thing I got to learn, you know, or one more system I got to deal with. So those are kind of things to consider, I suppose.
Yeah. Now, when you do these calculations, that system does do them for you. You don't have to do them by hand, but you can do them by hand. And I did do a class on satisfactory progress reports. So y'all have video trainings back there. So this form right here, they're not gonna need that until 450 hours. Scrolling on down. Before they graduate, you want that student to fill out a current student survey. This form right here. So you may walk in the classroom one day and say, hey, I need all y'all to fill out a current student survey. You're going to need this because NACAS is going to want to see current student surveys. You may not have one for every last student. That doesn't matter. But as long as you got quite a few, you good. School catalog. Every student that's interested in the school, you want them to have a school catalog. Even in the funnel that I'm going to show y'all later on, we always like to embed one of these electronically so they can just click the link and download it to their cell phone. Then that'll save you on paper. Now, that enrollment, let me show y'all something because I want y'all to see something. This form right here, this orientation checklist saying that all this was told to them, all of that is right here in your catalog. This catalog right here, I'm not going to go through it because I've gone through it many times on our mastermind meetings. All of that's in here. All this stuff at the table of contents, that's everything for orientation. So they can't tell you they didn't know this or didn't know that. Everything is in here, and you all can read this one time and record it and then just play it and let them watch it. Or you can have a group of students in a classroom and you can stand up in front of them and do it, or read it one time and play it on a video, or play it on you could save it on YouTube and make it unlisted and then play it in front of them.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, y'all can do that orientation one time and record it and then play it and let them go through it. And if they have any questions at the end, y'all can answer. Because now we're in a digital world. You don't have to do what we had to do. So this is the catalog. I'm just zipping through this. Now, one thing, then the rules and regulations are back here. Everything is already done for you all. Now, this right here, a lot of y'all, My Ladies has a curriculum already laid out for you all. Y'all can buy the digital, everything. This is a hand one. This is like module 1. Y'all can put whatever chapters y'all want in the order or whatever. How many services, practical requirements. This is one by hand because we used to have to do them by hand back in the day, but Ms. Velma had it laid out. This is back here in your policy and procedure manual if you want to redo these. Now, this is kind of like a syllabus that a student would know. Okay, so unit 1, I got to do 5 of those professional image. I got to do 7 infection control cleaning implements. I got to do 10 analyze the properties of hair and scalp before I get out of the 0 to 450 hours. Then here in unit 2, 450 to 900 hours, you can have this laid out. But now the smart system, a lot of everything is pretty much digital, although you all can still use these. Module, this is module 2, the practical requirements. You all can say, oh, well, you got to do 10 haircuts in this unit. This is 20 shampoos, 20 conditioners, 20 haircuts. You all can lay this out the way you all want that, but this is just an example.
Yeah, you know, what I found to be effective also with this is I kind of mocked up my own like sheets, and it'll be broken down this way too. And I think that factors in also to keeping your students busy, you know.
Yeah.
If you ain't there teaching them something or doing a demo or they're in theory, what are they doing? Are they just on their cell phone, just playing around, or what? You know, you got to keep them busy. This is a way to do that effectively.
Yep, you're exactly right. And you all can, with these right here, you all can take the full chapter book and put these in the order that you all want. I mean, like, I'm going to share something with y'all. In module 1, if a student comes in, see, you can enroll each week.
Where is this syllabus at?
This right here is in the policy and procedure manual. It's about 180-page policy and procedure manual in the back office. And these are just examples. so you all can come in and retype. You may want haircutting in the first unit. But the thing about this unit 1, a student can start every week because the history of cosmetology, or life skills, professional image, communicating for success, infection control, properties of hair and scalp, anybody can come in at any given time and learn that any week. So it's not like chemistry, hair coloring, because once you done been over a week or 2 of hair coloring, you really can't have another class to come, another person to come in, because they're gonna be lost. They're gonna be behind. But this right here, they won't be behind. They can start on professional image, and then it circles back around to life skills or history of cosmetology. That's why module 1 is set up like that. Okay, so that's module 1. Then we got module 2. Then your practicals. You know, y'all gonna have them working on the mannequins. Module 3. So you all can do these any kind of way you want, because some of y'all are perfectionists. You got your own twist, your own method of teaching. So these are something that you could do and add. I didn't do nothing. I didn't add nothing because I didn't know how to really style cut. I was not an expert like you all. So I just followed Miss Velma's plan. I ain't do no extra work, none of that. Now, that's module 4. So I want y'all to see this because you talked about like a syllabus. Now, this is like the nail program.
Yeah, we do.
This breaks down the 0 to 300 hours, what they're going to be doing.
Listen.
So a lot of y'all want to give a student a syllabus, like when you go to college on the first day, they give you a syllabus and say, hey, week 1, you're going to be doing this. Week 2, you're going to be doing this. Week 3. So this breaks down what they're going to be doing. This can be in a digital format too, so you don't have to print this out on paper. This could be like an online thing where they get a PDF. So if they got 300 to 600 hours, this is what they're going to be doing. This is how many weeks. That's for the nail tech. So we can keep going. I have that for the Cosmo and Barber in there, an example. So let's see. The first one was like the Cosmo or Barber. This is like a nail tech example, but I wanted to share this with you all so you all would know that. So we're going to recap. Yeah, these are, this is Cosmo 750. This was a crossover that a school had, Cosmo to Barber. Now, what I want to do, this is like a syllabus, 376 to 750 hours. It's going to be 13 weeks at 30 hours a week. This is what you're going to cover. So that breaks that down and makes everything pretty much simple. Let's go back to the top. Student comes in, potential student, they're going to fill out an application. The application cannot be over $150. So you're going to give them this application, do the orientation. What's in orientation? Before they start, make sure you get an ID, diploma, GED or transcript. Next, we're going through this. Keep your little ledger card. All you got to do is have total up here, what they put down, keep subtracting. Now, the enrollment agreement, make sure y'all fill out everything on the enrollment agreement. If not, put NA or draw a line through it. Student orientation checklist. We already went over that. Check all of those. Make sure they check those. Date it. And another thing I want to share with y'all, make sure that the dates, if they start March 18th, you don't want none of these documents that we went over as far as the orientation and the application. You don't want none of those to say March the 20th, because then if NACAS comes in, that means that they sign documents after they started school. No, you want them to sign all of the orientation, the catalog, not the catalog, the orientation, enrollment agreement, all of that stuff before they start school. So this is everything that they need before they start. So let me do this one more time. application. Make sure you get the ID, diploma, or GED, or transcript. You have your ledger card so you can keep up with how much they put down. Enrollment agreement, fill that out. Student orientation checklist. If you got the sample kit list, they fill that out. And then the pre-enrollment receipt that they got all that information. That's what you're gonna need. So it's not a lot. And you all can have a little checklist. I even have a checklist in the policy and procedure manual so they can check. I know y'all seen the policy and procedure manual. Make sure y'all go through that. Let me pull one up. I mean, that policy and procedure manual is so detailed. It's very detailed and it's got everything in it. But I wanted to pull one up. They're in your back office. Let me see. I'm gonna pull one up so y'all can see this. Now this policy and procedure manual right here, I'm gonna show y'all something because it's very detailed. Now look, school opening checklist. You can give this to your instructor. Turn off alarm, turn off outside lights. Did I arrive at school on time? Turn on the inside lights, put music on, put the open sign on, the thermostat. This is like for a person that's dumber than a box of rocks. Put $100 in the register, walk through the entire school, check the clinic floor, check the classroom, spray air freshener, make sure it smells good, check messages, clean the bowls, check the bathrooms. Did I collect the tickets? I mean, it's so detailed. In closing the school, take the money out the register, empty the trash cans, check in front of the school, remove any trash, check the clinic floor. Turn the open sign off, unplug the electrical stuff, check the thermostat. I mean, it's just dumbing in a box of rocks. If they can't do this, it's broken down.
Man, but see, this is what I'm talking about as far as you know, just everything that's in the program. You know, things that like I had a list that I taped on my back door for my barbers to do these things. But then again, that's the trial and error. Even what you have is even more thorough. So, I mean, that's valuable information to me. Just those little details.
And this, even for the students, the checklist for the students, look, park your car on the second row, wherever you want them. Clock in on time, cut cell phone on vibrate. Set tools up at the station, proper uniform, inspect your station, greet each other, refrain from hanging out front because a lot don't want to hang out front and stuff. Did I do all my classwork? Did I clock out? Did I read my book? And then they sign it and they check everything. Receptionist, always smile. So it's so detailed. Do you have any questions? You on mute, Nieves.
Yeah, no, I see it. Right now, no, I'm pretty good right now. In the school catalog though, it doesn't give you a breakdown of the syllabus in there, right? It just kind of gives you like a smaller version of that.
Yeah, just a smaller version in the catalog. Yeah. It doesn't give you that detail, no.
Yeah, no, I'm following. I'm definitely following what you're saying. I'm jotting down a couple of notes. For the most part, all the questions that I had, you've been answering them. So yeah, no, this is good info for sure.
Somebody said, can you go to cosmetology school without a high school diploma? You can have the ABT, ability to benefit testing. If they don't have a GED or high school diploma, you can't have that set up where outside agency administers that test. The SMART system, that's a company. 𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗁𝗃, and it keeps up with all of your school records. It's kind of automated. It's on the computer, and it's set up just for schools. And I can give you his information, Andy over at the Smart System. Let's see. How do you purchase this information? Open a barber school. I don't see it. No, it's not on my website because you're gonna have to talk to me first. So you can DM me. Now, and that's another thing on the Gold program. I'm gonna talk to the person first because I don't just want anybody in my Gold program. If they don't have a good spirit, the right work ethic, I don't want to work with them. It's just like y'all, certain clients y'all don't want to deal with. If they're not right or whatever, you may not want to deal with them. Now, do y'all have questions for our guests? Because y'all may want to ask him questions. Here's your time. Are transfer students only for accredited schools? No. Once you approve from the state, you're eligible for it. When will be eligible before NACAS? It takes 18 months before you can apply with NACAS, and another 12 to 18 months to get through that process.
Hey, so Chin, I got a question about military. So the military students, let's say you're not NACAS approved or anything like that. Would the military pay them out and then they would make payments to you? Is that how that works?
Yes. After you've been open for 2 years, then you can apply for the VA and with the military and bulk rehab after 2 years. Bulk rehab is for people that have some type of mental, physical health, or dependency problem that's documented from a doctor. And then the VA, the military people, the GI Bill, that's people that's been in the military, they're usually paid, straight out. So you can apply for that after 2 years. Is there accreditation for nail schools? Yeah, NACAS will accredit any beauty program. But you want to make sure that the program is a minimum of 600 clock hours. NACAS will accredit a program that's 150 hours minimum, but when you go to the U.S. Department of Education, it must be a 600 minimum clock hours, or the U.S. Department of Education is not going to give you any funding. Did you open a barber school next to your barbershop? If so, did it bother your barbers?
Is that for me?
That's for you.
Yeah, I'm converting fully into a barber school from the barber shop. So things just kind of iron themselves out. So I mean, at least in my situation, the barbers that were around with me when COVID happened, most of them did not come back, so but everyone who is with me now is in the loop and knows where I'm headed. But as far as it's just a bigger plan, and you have to make those kind of decisions. For me right now, it's not a bother, but for them it could turn into that, but they have to make the decision as well to what they want to do. There are ways that you can actually still operate. It's a certain amount of square footage in the barbershop that you will need versus what your barber school is like. I didn't really dig into that deeply or separate space out for that. I'm just going to go full blown into the school.
Somebody said, Chin, I did get approved for VA disabled vet in my apprenticeship. That apprenticeship program is different from the school. That's different. So that was somebody asking that question. Now that was really good that you converted that to the school, because now with your clients, is if you got a student in that school and one of your clients come in, the way to get around that, if that student is standing there watching and State Board walks in, you're just doing a demonstration of look and learn. Nothing State Board can do. I continue to do all my clients and charge them full price. As long as I had that student right there, State Board couldn't do nothing. So they kept the money coming for me and I was able to just keep moving forward. So I wanted to share that with you all.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm planning on doing as well. And I've heard you say that before, you know, so that's the plan that I had going into it. And you know what, doing the conversion also helped me out to pay for overhead. Like I was sitting there the other day thinking like, you know, if I was paying for 2 locations on the lease and I didn't have my barbershop operational right now and I wasn't able to work out of it. I mean, I'm still in compliance with my township. I have my licensing and everything to operate as a barbershop, but now I understand that I'm doing the conversion over. But leading up to that, I was able to still generate revenue out of the space. So it didn't really put that financial strain on me doing all this.
Because I went straight from my barbershop to the school, and I got me a couple of students in there real quick just so I could continue to do my class, so I wouldn't miss a beat. Now, read it. Somebody asked a question: what are the steps you took to create your online courses, or what are the step-by-step actions I need to take to create an online course? Okay, in the program, y'all have step by step how to create the online course. I recorded all that stuff for you all, so it's in the back office, Red, to take you step by step. Okay, you want to read this? I just wanted to let Nieves know that his classes were very instrumental during my Zoom classes. Also, many blessings for the school. That's to you.
Yeah, thank you. No, like I said, I've been doing education for a while, and you know, when everything went Zoom wise and you know digital, I was there already. All I did was kind of, you know, beef up my platform, and that kind of goes back to what Red the Barber is asking right here. The steps to create the online course. What was that program you had? How to create an online course? It's all there step by step.
Yeah, it's all there. In y'all's One Brand Away course, when y'all join the School Blueprint program, everything is in there. Now, Dion, how are you going to offset the cost for services from the student barbers compared to what you were charging when you were a dedicated barbershop? Well, in a barbershop, you only get commission or booth rent. In a school, you get 100% commission. The students don't get paid nothing. So it's like modern day slavery. Plus, you as a school owner, you still gonna charge your full prices. Plus, your senior students and good students, when the client comes in, do you want a service from a master student, or do you want one for a basic student? So you can have price tiers. And if you're a great school, heck, your prices can be close to what they charging in the barbershop.
Yeah.
You can set your own prices.
Yeah, I could kind of speak to that as well because you know, there's a lot of barbershops in my area. And as a matter of fact, there's kind of one like 2 doors down from me. They moved in maybe a couple of years ago, and they were always matching my pricing in my barbershop. And now with the school, the pricing is going to be so economical, they're not going to be able to match that pricing. And you know, and not only that, in my area, I see a lot of kids and a lot of potential clients that I could have, but the pricing is a little, you know, out of their range right now. But with the school, it's going to be right up the alley for them. So I already know the amount of traffic we're going to have is even going to be more. But if you want to also look at it on the side of me, myself, can I be more economical cutting? No, I'm not going to go backwards from what I'm doing, but my students will be charging less. But the way that you offset that is I use a booking app, and I book online. So whether the name of my barbershop is on the sign up above or not, they can still book me online. So all my pricing online is there when they book, the time that they're gonna book me through. So all I really have to do is just convert back to what I'm doing anyway.
Yep. And now you got all these barbers for free. They got to pay you, these barber students, plus they got to do all the work on the clinic floor. There's no barbershop in the world where you're going to get 10, 20, whatever, 30 barbers to work for free, plus pay you. That's way better than a barbershop.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it makes a lot of sense. And I know my area, I know where I'm at, and I know the barbers in my area, they need something like this, and they want to be licensed. There's a lot of them that are in these shops right now that you know, they're working under the table, and you know, me providing this establishment is going to motivate them to come out. And you know, I barely let the word out for about an hour earlier today, and I had people reaching out to me, you know. So without a doubt, you know, location and everything you look into, you know, plays a factor. But you know, once you get these students in, like you said, you know, they're going to be cutting hair. They're going to cut hair at the school pricing. I mean, even right now, as you just dropped that gem, you want a master student? What?
Yeah. Do you want a master student? Do you want a pro student or a rookie?
Yeah.
No one wants a rookie. This pro student cuts better than your barber out there, and they're cleaner than your barber out there.
Yeah.
So you can really match their prices. You could match it or be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So,
Associate, senior, master.
yeah. Do you want a master student? But if you tell them, do you want a master student or a basic student or a rookie? Nobody wants a rookie.
Like even think about it as service wise. I know the services that are being provided in my area. If you shampoo the head, the barbershops in my area ain't shampooing heads. So if we offer that service, and the student needs to learn it, and they need to get signed off on it anyway, it's part of their practical, it's part of the program. You offer a shampoo, something as simple as that, you're providing more service than some of the professionals in the area, or people who are not professional that need to get in school, but they're down the shop working anyway, you know? So all of that comes into play.
And you're gonna be more sanitary in the school. You know them barbers, how they are when they get to shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better environment in the school, more professional in the school. And you got complete control of the students. In these shops, it's kind of challenging to manage these professionals a lot of times. But in that school, it's very easy. You got real complete control.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you have a contract that they have to abide by, and you're not only that, you're laying it all out in the beginning. Like most of the time with booth renters, they feel like, hey, I'm paying my booth rent, and you know, I could do what I want, come and go as I please, and you know, yeah, it's different. There's ground rules. There's, you know, that's some things that I'm looking forward to with this as well. You know, I don't have to put up with it. You know.
No. No. It's gonna be a lot less stressful, better peace of mind. Man, running them shops for me, it was like pulling teeth. It was challenging, but that school, yeah, the respect level, even in your city, your town, you're gonna go from here to there. They respect school owners. Is a difference between a school owner and a barber, a cosmetologist, a salon owner, a barbershop owner, and school owner. Totally different. They view them different.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a whole total different respect level. You're at the highest level now. It don't get no better than being a school owner. When you even go to a show, when they even introduce you, when you even walk into a room, barbershop owner, school owner, they pointing. Oh, that's Alvarez. He owns that school. It's different. They even start calling you Mister. When I got my school, they started calling me Mr. Chin, and I didn't want them calling me that.
Well, I mean it comes with the territory, that's for sure. You know, even me being in the school systems, getting my instructors and all of that too. That it was so common, you know, to be Mr. Nieves. You know, everyone was Mr. something.
Somebody had a question. If you're doing look and learn, performing a service on a personal client, as an instructor, how do you run the checkout for the client service? Do you charge it? Is it the school service or would you? Well, the school is yours. All the money that comes in the school is going to you anyway. And you're going to tell your personal clients anyway, my prices are this. If you want a student, is that. And your personal clients, they don't want nobody else touching their head anyway. If y'all are great barber stylists, they don't want nobody else touching them but you.
Yeah, I think also that might be a question reverting to where do you run your money through? So if I have a corporation set up for my barbershop, if I'm providing service and I want the money to flow through there, then I may, like personal service, like they're requesting me, I might flow the money through my barbershop corporation or my my point of sale through my corporation of the barbershop. If it's something that a student's doing, then I may want to run the money through the school. Eventually, I think you might get to some point where, you know, you might not want to like mix everything up or not. I mean, I know I can keep it organized in that sense. But those are just a couple of examples there.
I mean, they could use your booking app and pay on that. That'd be easy. Somebody said, what are some of the reasons you would terminate a student? You want to answer that? Or
well, I think from what I've been reading in the blueprint, there's a process to it as well. You got to give out warnings, you got to do write-ups, things like that. But I mean, as far as termination goes, I mean,
and in the rules and regs back there, there are some things for immediate termination. Drugs, alcohol, it's a lot of things that you can put back there for immediate termination. And when I had my school, I had certain things that was immediate termination. And I let them know in orientation things that I was not going to tolerate, and it was in my rules and regulations. Drugs, it was no racism. And when I say racism, sexism, talking about gays, trans, blacks, whites, none of that was tolerated. You was gonna be out the door. It was not gonna be no toxic environment. One cancer, one bad apple can change that environment in your school. So I let them know on the front end. Did I have to put people out? Yes, I did. And that's something all you school owners, future school owners, you want to put your crazy card down early. Put it down early because it's going to travel around the town. Such and such does not play down at that school. If you come in there thinking you're going to be doing this and that, he's going to get your butt right up out of there. He's going to get your bloopy bloop bloop right up out of there. So you put it down early.
That's the reputation that I already have. I got barbers all the time telling me like, yeah, you know, he's strict over there. They want to go hang out in a shop down the block so they can drink and smoke all day. You know, I don't condone it. So that's the rep I have already. I even have my guys already in uniform. So like the school transition, that ain't gonna be a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. You want it professional. Y'all got any more questions? Y'all done had him on here all night. I went to the Instagram. You didn't put the videos up, did you?
They're in my story. That's where those videos are. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get to the story, because I wanted them to see that. I want them to see.
So let me break this down a little bit too. So we got our application, right? Then we kind of come into seeing what they can put down. I know we talked about that. We talked a little bit about the kit, and even having a school kit that they can use if they cannot afford it at first. Orientation got to be done before they start. It could be done even the day before or the day of, earlier, before they actually start. I've seen we spoke about a ledger card, the enrollment agreement, catalog is in there, and then there's a couple of
the pre-orientation, that checklist. You get that?
Pre-orientation checklist. Yeah,
You want to see it? Did you get it?
That was right before I think you were showing the catalog. So
yeah, it was two documents.
And then, you know, once you told me you were gonna send me this video too, I stopped taking some notes in between.
Yeah, I'm gonna see the video. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about that. I got you covered.
But I'm just trying to get like a good summary of what I'm thinking about as far as somebody comes in the door, they apply. All right, you're ready to go. This is your down payment. This is here's your enrollment agreement or your contract, right? This is our catalog. This is what we're presenting out to them as far as paperwork goes. And then they're ready to go from that point.
Yeah, they'll fill out the form where they're gonna pay $100 for the application fee, and then you're gonna ask them, how do you want to pay for this? As far as this is what tuition is. Do you need some type of payment plan? Okay, what does it look like? Well, I can put X amount down. I can pay X amount a week or a month. Then, of course, we're going to need, do you have your diploma? Do you have your GED? You got a high school transcript? What do you have? Most of them going to have it at home. If they don't, they're going to have to get it. Go get it. And then they bring that back, make a copy of it, put that in the file, picture ID. How did you hear about the school? Then they're going to fill out the orientation, all of those forms. The catalog, you have that in a PDF. So they'll be able to go to the site or go to your Instagram and click on your link tree, and it'll download right to their phone.
Yeah, you know, I was speaking to another school owner, and he said like it's a NACIS requirement to have your school catalog online.
Yeah, well, you want that for NACIS, they want that catalog, but you already have it because once we get in the PDF, we'll embed it. But you don't have to worry about NACIS as far as that part until about 18 months. But you still want to do the NACIS documents right now.
Yeah, and then as far as orientation, we were talking about pre-recording an orientation. That way we don't have to keep doing it over and over.
You're exactly right. And you ain't got to waste your breath, waste time.
I mean, I just recently I put a smart TV up in the classroom. So I know I could run YouTube off of that and just play that in there straight off YouTube.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I went jet skiing one day and we had to watch a video before we got on the jet skis and take this little quiz thing. So everything is like automated now. You know, they can watch it from their phone.
Right. Okay. So they sign on the dotted line, and then and then that's it, huh?
Yeah, they just got to fill out all them forms. It's only probably about 4 or 5 forms. So it's not difficult, you all. We went over these forms. It is not hard at all. So we're gonna put this
Absolutely.
video training. Bronze members and gold members, you will have access to this as well as all the other video trainings. It'll be in the back office. Does anybody else have any other questions? Now, let me see. On the Instagram stories, I can't get to the stories from here.
Yeah, if you click on my profile picture, maybe it'll let you in there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. It's gonna come up next.
And you can take them on the journey.
That's it right there. That's actually the barbershop side that I had.
Okay, walk them through it.
So this is just a quick walkthrough. I just shot a fancy little clip. This is the other side, the new side that was built. This is where we did most of the build out.
Look at that floor. Look at them hardwood floors.
So we got the floor, the platform, and then we have the other marble looking floor there. So those jobs. The wood floor was done by the neighbor that I have next door. And then the marble looking floor, that was done by one of the clients.
So tell us about it. Tell them again about this. I mean,
so
everything looks good. Tell them.
So this side was my actual barber shop before. And I built this side out 6 years ago, almost 7. So that floor that's in there right now, that's 7 years old. And actually I had another client of mine. He and I put that flooring in there, and he had painted it. It was a different color before. He put my shampoo bowls in, and he didn't charge me $1 to do this. He said, when you're successful, we'll talk about it. And to this day, we never talked about it. But I mean, me and him, he even brought his son. His son at the time was like 10 years old. His son was helping painting in the shop, you know? So, you know, that was definitely a blessing that he helped me out there. And as time went on, and I knew I was going to open up the school, I added more chairs into it. What else did we do? I added another shampoo bowl in there. Even that logo on the back, that's on the back wall, I put that up myself. I went to the sign company. You know, they'll charge me about $400 to put them stickers on the wall right there, and I did it myself. I put that up there on my own. It came out pretty decent. It's not.
That thing looks good. That thing looks very professional.
Yeah, and even in the windows, I put the window stickers up too. You can't see those from these angles, but you know, this was the side we built out, and we did. If you look to the right, you could see the opening that kind of separates the two, or opens up the two places.
Yeah, you did a heck of a job.
And then you know, I put some canvases up. Those are haircuts of like the 𝗀𝗃 I submitted last year, which I became a finalist for. And on this side right here, this is 2021's 𝗀𝗃. That's what I'm nominated right now for that right now. So the award ceremony is in August for those there. But yeah, go ahead.
Is the top. Let's show them some of your work. What you want me to click on?
If you go down, we could show them the actual 𝗀𝗃 collection.
You tell me when to stop.
Okay, you could stop right there. Scroll up just a little bit. Okay, yeah, there you go. So that's the collection I'm nominated for this year. that's 2021. And we'll see the outcome of this in August is when the show. So this is North American Hairstyling Awards. It's the Golden Globes, Oscars, whatever you want to call it, of the hair industry. And, you know, thousands of people submit. And this is my nomination for Men's Hairstylist of the Year. And I'm going back to back right now. 2020, I was also nominated, and we came back in for 2021.
It's gonna be hard to beat that, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, definitely excited. So this is yeah, this is another, just another angles of it. And yeah, throughout, you know, we take a lot of photos. I'm fortunate to work with some great photographers and great videographers. So, you know, my content on social media has been coming out even more nicer. So, you know, it's all work in progress. You know, I take some camera phone pictures here and there. Actually, I took that one up there with my phone. If you go up a little bit, the guy with the varsity jacket, yeah, I took this with my phone. So you know, phone technology is coming out, you know, really nice and making things look good. But yeah, you know, just the variety and that's actually my son right there, the model.
Is it?
Yeah, so he'll be enrolling in he'll be my first enrollee in the barber school. So, and then my wife is she's a licensed cosmetologist, and she went through the Cosmo instructor program as well. So she's gonna enroll in barber school now too, and she's gonna be out helping me. That's my other son right there. So yeah, you know, we're gonna make it a family business, that's for sure.
Everybody in
You
my
know,
family got their license. My brother, sister, niece, brother-in-law. I took care of everybody.
and you talk about that a lot. You speak on that, you know, changing the generational you know,
Breaking them curses. Man, I came from the hood.
same here.
Generational curse.
Same here. You know, if you notice earlier, I said I got my GED, you know? So you know, it's all progress.
Yeah, your work is impeccable.
Scroll back up a little bit. You see the two little girls right there. So those are my daughters, and my daughter on the left there today, she knew I had my inspection. And yesterday she was in there with my wife, and she was literally cleaning out those barbicide jars that are on the stations. and she told my wife, she said he passed the inspection because I helped clean out those barbicide jars. And I said, yup, that's exactly why.
How old is she? How old are your daughters?
So they're 10. They're 10 now.
When I opened my barber school, my niece was right around their age. And do you know that she ended up coming to my school? I never thought she'd come to my school.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've always brought my kids around the business, and both of my sons know how to cut hair. So they've been doing it on and off since they were small. My oldest, I was bringing him around. He was 10 years old. He was cutting using the clippers, you know. So, oh, this is actually a video from last year's 𝗏𝗏. We shot a video before the award show, and we show the results of the award show, and me not winning. But it's actually a positive message in here.
For Men's Hairstylist of the Year is
how so close can seem so far. I mean, it's supposed to be your moment. It's supposed to be your moment. It's supposed to be your moment. What good is being the one when you're the only one that knows it?
What's the competition like at the NAHA Awards?
Well, it's to me, you know, I look at everything, and I, you know, obviously I'm like, I feel like mine is like super fire, you know. Even last year I felt like that, you know, and the message in that and the motivation behind that video kind of just showed what the day was like leading up to that award show, and not being called up there to grab the trophy, or you didn't win the Oscar, but you're saying almost, and then, you know, the music, everything just kind of transitioned. And the thing about it is, just getting nominated, you already are a winner.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of spiraled so many things, so many magazine publications that I've been in, so many opportunities on the educational level, growing within WAL. We started a whole educational tour off of that nomination. So that alone, just even
who's won at the most? Who has won at awards a lot?
Well, to my knowledge, I've never seen a barber win it. It's a newer category, the men's category, and it's something that I've never seen a barber win it. So right now there's so many categories too. We're only talking about men's hairstylist of the year, but there's team categories, there's hair color, hair cutting. It's a big thing, really, and it coincides with that �奧𝗲𝗁𝗍 show.
Yeah, that was a dope video, man.
Yeah. So the guy up here, if you see my hand on that green head, that guy shot this video too. The same guy. Is that one we're watching right now?
Well, yeah, it's the same video, I think.
Yeah, see. If you scroll up a little bit, you could see more of that guy's video work. He's just amazing. Let's see up here. Oh, right on the right there. That's another video that he shot. Oh, this is the tour. This is the tour that we started, and this was kind of like a snowball effect from that nomination. So this is the Disrupt tour.
Let's see it.
Disrupt tour. I mean, it's one of the most popular clippers, right? We're gonna make some noise soon. Ready? Disrupt tour. Disrupt tour.
Disrupt tour, Las Vegas.
We're at the Disrupt tour. It's lit over here.
Disrupt tour. Oh, San Diego. It's time. Let's go.
Disrupt tour. We just got the VIP popping. Let's go. Disrupt tour, man. This has been one of the dopest classes I've ever been to.
I go over anything like ranch. Fact. No one ain't got a ranch. Yes. Hit the boulevard and hit my dance. Hey guys, this is Bird from the Disrupt Tour.
Hey guys, this is John Carmona from the Disrupt Tour.
What's up, everybody? WA educator Nieves Elmeris here from the Disrupt Tour.
Trevor Boots here from the Disrupt Tour.
This is 𝗑𝗲𝗄𝗁 Barber from the Disrupt Tour.
This is Lisa Finucane, National Director of Education with WA Professional and proud member of the Disrupt Tour. My team and I began 2020 with the intention of disrupting the industry and bringing high-level, amazing education to all of you.
Our goal is to travel the country and interact with all your communities, learn about your lives,
Eat your food, and have fun in your cities.
We're on the road to Vegas. We just picked up a good old buddy. We have still 2 more hours to go.
We're setting up for the Disrupt Tour in Las Vegas, so I have to start prepping models, getting the day ready to go.
Las Vegas, here we are. Who could have ever predicted that COVID-19 would actually be the disruptor this year?
All right, guys.
Okay, you hug everyone else but me.
Our team values education and spreading the love, but we want to make sure that you, us, and the world is a safe place before we embark on another leg of our tour.
That's all that matters, you know? We're here to learn more and grow. Shout out Disrupt Tour, shout out Wall Pro, recommended.
Yo, whenever they show up, go to it, bro.
You guys will learn a lot in less than 4 hours.
We promise we will see you in 2021.
We will refocus our efforts on making next year amazing and worth the wait.
But in the meantime, stay safe,
Stay healthy.
Wash your hands.
Wear a mask.
And let us know how you're doing.
Can't wait to see you guys all soon.
Peace and love.
Amor y paz.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
See you all very, very soon. And we're going on a detour, by the way.
Everybody.
So that's COVID-19 disrupting the disruptor. So we had a whole tour planned, 15 cities last year that we were gonna go through, and obviously COVID-19 hit and we couldn't do that. But this year things are letting out, and we do have the disruptor trifecta now. We're calling it, and it's kicking off in April 24th or 21st, I believe. We're going to Austin, Texas is the first stop. So it'll be a little bit more limited, a little bit more intimate, but we're still going in full force even afterward. So
Yeah, them videos was good. Somebody said, how can they get students? One, Facebook and Instagram ads, some targeted ads will help with a funnel. But I know since you've built a brand for yourself. Mm-hmm. So it won't be hard for you to get students because of what you've done in the past. All of that work that you've been doing has led up to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. How to Fade Hair, I branded that and I worked so hard, and it's not an overnight thing, it's been 10 years plus in the making, so as far as student wise goes, I know what I've been doing on my end, and I've been getting information from people and things like that, and word of mouth and just asking people to spread the word for you, that'll work as well. But there's a lot of strategies you can apply, most definitely, and I'm definitely going to work social media. I've had a lot of success there, so I'm going to do that.
Now, you had referred Miguel to me.
Yeah, well, I think he had met you, but I think I just kind of
you kind of sealed it because he was kind of skeptical,
Yeah, I might have lit the fire up under him, and he's on vacation right now. He went live with me earlier. He was in Mexico, him and his wife. So definitely he was like one of the first people I called up, because I had been calling him along the way as well, and using my network, and a lot of school owners were willing to help me out as well. But for the most part, I felt totally prepared with what I was doing, and a couple of things that were pertaining to my state in particular. That's when I reached out to people like Miguel and other people that I do know. But he seems happy and anxious. His school is thriving right now, and he's been talking about expansion forever, and he's a big dreamer. You know, I give it to him. He been on your mastermind before. I watched that, and he sounds like he wants to have like a whole college campus.
Yeah. I mean, he can do it. Hell, I started with 0 students, and one of my schools I had 200-something students. So I mean, it's possible. And I started with 0 in a raggedy school. Your school is first class. My school, no, it was nothing like that. A hole in the wall. But it does not matter how you start, you all. What matters is how you finish. You don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. What do you want to leave us with?
Well, my journey is beginning. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. And I'm just trying to be prepared as possible. I was prepared leading up into this point. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I know, and there's a lot of things I don't know. And, you know, just to even be able to network and create a relationship out here with yourself, it's definitely a blessing, you know, and I'm gonna keep moving forward. And you know, I'm excited and I'm happy, and you know, I'm ready to watch all this unfold and before my eyes.
Okay. Well, much blessings to you. Anything you need, you know, I'm a phone call away. So we're gonna be talking. You got my
Yeah, I just got your number today, I think.
today.
Yeah, I've been I see, that's the thing too. I've only been DMing you. Like, I don't even think I ever wrote you an email.
You
You know,
did?
I just been direct messaging. I don't even know. I suppose you get so many people that ask you so many things, and it sounds like they're doing it. The last time I think I messaged you was I was going through the enrollment agreement, and you said the wording in the back page, the video I watched said the wording had to be a specific way. And there might have been something about in the beginning, I had a lot of my funds were in another corporate account that I have.
Uh-huh.
And you were saying to have all your money and everything, your expenses, everything flow through the school account.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I was doing the build out, and I was gonna do all my build out through my other account, and I even was gonna sign the lease through my other corporate account. And I messaged you about it, and you kind of just said, make sure you could do it like that now. 6 months later, you're gonna want to change it up. I ended up changing it up that night, and I was about to sign the lease the next day, and I had made the owner of the building redo the paperwork with the new corporate account. I went online real quick and set up a whole new corporation for the school itself, because I didn't want to have to change anything down the road.
Because there's co-mingling accounts. They don't, NACAs doesn't want you co-mingling accounts. That's what they call that.
And I had contacted my accountant the next day, and he was telling me I could gift monies into the other corporate account. So you know, you got to have all them resources, and it helps, you know. But that was just a simple DM right there that kind of, you know, led to, you know, me being more prepared. So yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, I thank you for sharing. You helped a lot of people tonight. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I hope so. It's just the journey's just beginning for me.
Yeah. Well, you one of the best barbers that I've seen out there. And I look at all of y'all's work, because I can't cut hair that good. So I can sit back and look at all of y'all, and I can say who's one of the best, because I don't have a horse in the race, and you're right there at the top. Your work is immaculate.
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right. Well, What's your song? We're gonna end with your song.